Sorry guys, got cut off. So we're talking about Jameson, and he has created branded packaging, our mobile app, which has been unbelievable. And again, someone who started off as an assistant, well, I don't think even he knew what he was looking for, what direction he wanted to go in. We certainly didn't know, and we also didn't know what we needed. A lot of these times you don't really even know what you need as a company or as an entrepreneur, but you need some people to help you along the ride. So it's incredibly important when you're hiring or when you're looking to kind of just grow, that you grow with the right people. You don't always have to have everything figured out. I think it's really important for entrepreneurs to know that you don't always have to have it all figured out. We like to think that we do. We like to think that we're all really smart and we're all geniuses, right? But we're not. Most of us don't know a lot. It's the ability to kind of lower the guard, learn, listen, and align yourself with people to help you get better. People that will hold you accountable. I can't stress that enough from what I've seen. Whenever I meet people, whether they're sharks from Shark Tanks or other celebrities that I'm initially kind of starstruck over, the vast majority of them ask really interesting questions about our business. So they'll say, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I heard about this. I love your food or whatever it may be. And then we start chatting and they'll say, what's the supply chain like? Or, what's the off season for shipping lobsters? Or how's it been scaling food trucks? Anything. They don't just ask these blank questions, and they're actually really interested in learning. They're not in the lobster business. They likely will never be in the lobster business, but they want to learn more. They kind of want to heighten their knowledge. I really think that's important for all of us to remember, is that we can never stop learning. We can never kind of take our foot off the gas pedal. We always have to keep going. And you either have that drive or you don't. My mother was not that way. And that's who raised me my whole life. So I didn't get it from my mom. I got my fearlessness from my mom. I got my optimism from my mom. But I certainly didn't get that aspect from my mom. I think I got that. It's innate, and I just think I wanted something in life. I knew that I didn't have a lot of things, and I wanted things. I wanted nicer things. I wanted to excel. I liked challenges. I was competitive. So when someone told me that I couldn't do it, I wanted to prove them wrong. My mom always encouraged me in life to do things. My mom was not the type of person that would kind of, play it safe. When I was 16 or 17, I lived in Maine, and I wanted to go to New York City because I loved rap music. It was like my God, loved it. But I couldn't get good mixtapes. I don't know if you guys know what mixtapes are or how many young guys in there, but old people do. Mixtapes. So I wanted to get some good music, and some clothes. And so I told my mom I was going to get on a bus, take a bus to New York City and stay in a youth hostel at 16. My mom was like, yeah, great idea. Of course, you should do that. Go. Which, by the way, was a terrible idea, Mom. Are you crazy? I was a wild kid. But it was that type of mentality that she always gave me, where she was like, you should just go do what you think you should do. And I made tons of mistakes, and I wasn't always the most well-behaved kid. But I know by the time I reached college, that fearlessness hungered me and made me better. Made me a better student, made me a better entrepreneur, made me work harder, made me want to excel more, because I wasn't scared to do it. Going on Shark Tank afterwards, you're not so scared. You kind of feel like you can do this, but you don't have to get to these levels of a Shark Tank thing just to be able to do this. You guys, every single person has it in them. Every time you go by a successful business, or you see a person that is a singer or an actor, or all these things that we kind of glorify, and we look up and go, oh my goodness, that is so cool, it's so shiny, it's so amazing. Those people all started in the same position. We all did, we all started, and those people just never gave up. Damon just never gave up. Jay-Z just never gave up. These people just kept on going and going. So it's really important for us when we do that. And I think from a standpoint of any entrepreneur, if you're talking, you have to always remind them, like, guys, you can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. I think that's one of the best things that Jimmy and I are able to do, because we kind of have this contagious energy of like, we're just figuring it out too. Or if we can do it, you can do it. And I referenced earlier, when people meet us, they kind of go, oh my God, wow, yeah, how's that going? What's that like? We're relatable. And it's pretty cool. I want to talk about the quality of your product and your customer service and what the customer sees. I think this is incredibly important. So whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is, you have to be the best. You have to be the best. When I sold real estate, when I first started selling real estate, there was a bunch of people in the office, all these realtors, real estate agents. And there was only a few successful people in there. There was really only a couple. Everyone else was like, man, why would I want to work on Sunday? It's football Sunday. I don't want to hold an open house. And buyers are liars, and sellers never sell, and bobbity blue, and all of that. They always had an excuse for everything, which I listened to. And then I noticed there were these three people in our office that had nice watches, nice suits, nice cars, but they were always working. These people were always carrying those big open house signs and flyers and mailers. They were spending the money on like the nice Vailer and all this. I was like, my God, you guys are working so hard. I was like, well, wait a second. You seem to be doing pretty well in life. I was like, what's the secret? Their secret is they just worked. They just shut up. They just did the job, and they did it well. So I started mirroring myself off of these people. I was like, I like to watch football, but I like money a little better. I like not being broke. So I started doing that and modeling myself after this behavior. And soon I became really successful in real estate. In any job, in any aspect of any career, you can always find excuses as to why you shouldn't do something and why it's not going to work and why it's problematic. Why would I do a food truck with lobster? Food trucks with this and lobster was that. And no one wants this and no one wants that. Why would I do this? Why would I buy that? There's an excuse for everything. So if you find yourself making them, you should listen to your own voice. If you hear other people making excuses, you should check them, or certainly don't be around them. That was something I learned really early on in my kind of professional career, which when coming to Cousins was like, there's no one here to push us, Jimmy, but us. You're looking at two guys in an office. That's it. It was just the two of us. That's it. Trying to figure out something that we thought was going to be big. We quit our jobs. There's no safety net. There's nothing. We are all in. It was definitely scary. So how do you overcome that? You work hard. You make sure that no one works harder than you. Super important. Next of all, your product has to be the best. Whatever it is, you have to be the best. You have to be the best. Part of that comes from what we do is we sell lobster. Our lobster is the best. This isn't something that I say egotistically. It's because I actually know what I'm purchasing and I'm making sure that I purchase the top line product. We have plenty of opportunities to buy lobster of different grades. It's all based on money. So when you go to a nice restaurant, why don't they have the best thing? Well, probably because they can't afford it. Probably because they're not willing to buy that. That'll be my assumption. There's a reason why people sell certain types of things in life. We wanted to sell the best Maine lobster. That was our goal. And our goal wasn't just to make money, because sometimes when you make decisions based on money, you make bad decisions. The vast majority of mistakes we've made in our business is when we were thinking about money. All of our successes have come when we didn't incorporate money into our decision-making process. And we actually just did something organically because we believed it was the right thing to do. No matter how expensive it was. It pays in dividends. So people come to our food trucks or restaurants, they take a bite of the lobster, they go, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so great. I can't believe it. Thank you, thank you. There's a cost to that. The cost is us taking the risk of buying the most expensive product. So what are you doing that is the best? What do you serve or what do you offer the world or customers that is the best? Could be you. Could be your skills, your technical skills. It could be your ability to do some sort of craft amazingly to the best. There's a reason why Kobe Bryant kept practicing after all those championships he won. Or when Peyton Manning would come off the field and he'd look at film, these guys always looking and studying, trying to get better. It's like, man, you've already won all these championships, you're a multi-millionaire, you're famous, why do you care anymore? What's the big deal? It's because they want to get better. They want to be the best, they want to get better. So, if you don't have that in you, if you're not driven that way, then the entrepreneurial journey is not for you, because you have to do that in order to get to those certain levels. You have to be able to outwork people to get to those certain levels. Last thing I'll do is I'll touch a little bit on company culture, which I think is incredibly important. We are a company that centralizes around Maine lobster, of course. Maine lobster, Maine lobster. What do you know about Maine lobster? Probably that you think it's the best lobster in the world, but you probably don't know why. And if I gave you a book that told you why Maine lobster was so good, would you read it? Would you want the Cliff Notes? Would you want some note cards? I probably would be the guy that liked the note cards, to be honest with you. When we first started franchising, we asked franchisees, we gave them books. We wanted them to really, really care about what they did. So we said, guys, here in Maine, it's a sustainable fishery. And here in Maine, this, and that. And here's how we do this, and that. And we really believed that they would care. We really, really believed that this would help them. But what we learned is it's hard to understand things when it's just in text. So we started making all of our franchisees go to Maine with us and get on lobster boats. We also took our senior executive staff as well. People in Los Angeles, some of them had lived in LA their whole life. None of which had been on a lobster boat before. Some had never been to Maine. Most had never been to Maine. Because Jimmy and I found it incredibly important. If you're going to put this word Maine on your back, if you're going to make this represent you, you need to understand what it's really like here. You need to really smell the air and understand it. We invited them into our homes to meet our family, to eat in our kitchens, to meet our friends, our high school buddies, to drink with us, to go on the boats, to haul up the lobster traps. Fun fact, 92% of all Maine lobsters get thrown back into the ocean because they're either too big or too small. Maine is a sustainable fishery. Well, that's a cool fact, and now you know. But how much more real would that fact be if you actually physically brought the trap up, saw 10 lobsters, like you just struck gold, but had to throw 9 of them back? You're left with that one. Would that give you a new appreciation for those lobster rolls that you throw out the window? Probably. Would you teach your staff and have better tools to teach them now after you've gone through that on the lobster boat? Probably. So Jimmy and I started doing this because we realized people weren't kind of grasping it. And to be fair, it's hard to grasp. Now, before we open any location, it's mandatory that any potential franchisee has to come to Maine. They have to get on a lobster boat. They have to work with us. They have to meet our family. Because that's what we want to create. We want to create a family. We want to create people that care. We want to create people that understand what Maine hospitality is. What's Maine hospitality? Well, it's not super fancy. It's certainly not polished. It's nice. It's kind. It's thankful. It's really good. It's the type of thing where you kind of just tap someone on the back and say, thank you, I appreciate it. It's that. It's not egotistical. It's not super fancy or bougie or anything like that. That's what Maine hospitality is. We want to be the best. When you think of Maine lobster, we want you to think of Cousins Maine Lobster. We want you to want to associate yourself with us. When go to a truck or a restaurant, we want you to Instagram, right? We want you to take posts and put it all over social media. We want you to be proud that you came to visit us. The only way to make people proud is to add value and give them value. The only way to give people value is to offer them the best thing. People aren't stupid. You can fool a person once, but you can't fool them over and over again. They expect the best. So it was important for us when we taught our franchisees that we taught them the value of what Maine is, what Maine truly, truly is.